Very good morning to all the students and welcome to another online physical science class. So today I'm continuing with current electricity part 5. So let's start. Before starting today I'm going to tell you that current electricity is a very important chapter like light. So please pay your full attention, that means 100% attention to this slide and in your book for current electricity chapter, and it's a very interesting chapter also, and I have tried my best to make it more interesting by giving some diagrams, some extra points from outside. So let's start. Now I'm starting with electric bulb. First of all, see a very interesting diagram I have given. When you will see the video, it will glow. That time you will see actually an animation I have given. Now let's start. How does an electric bulb works? The incandescent light bulb turns electricity into light by sending the electric current through a thin wire called a filament. Electrical filaments are made up mostly of tungsten metal. Tungsten symbol is capital W. The resistance of the filament hits the bulb. That means heat up the bulb. Eventually, the filament gets so hot that it glows, producing light. Now, what do we call an electric bulb producing light? The incandescent light turns electricity into light by sending the electric current through a thin wire called filament. See the diagram. Here, W-shaped wire is there, that is called actually filament, and that is only made up of tungsten. I hope so you have understood this. So electrical filaments are mostly of tungsten metal. The resistance of the filament heats the bulb up. Eventually, filament gets so hot that it glows. Now there is a filament of a thin wire of tungsten in an electric bulb. The melting point of the filament wire is very high and so can withstand high temperature. So melting point of tungsten is about 3380 degrees Celsius. It is enclosed in glass bulb and fixed over an insulated support. The glass bulb is filled with inactive gases like nitrogen or argon, which increases the life of the filament wire. As resistance of the thin filament wire is very high, so a large amount of heat is produced in it when electric current passes through the filament. Due to this large amount of heat produced, the filament becomes white hot and emits light and heat. You have seen incandescent bulb at your home. You have seen the night bulb also, green color, red color, blue color. So in that case, actually, that glass, the covering of the incandescent bulb, actually that glass made up of that particular color. Filament color is not changing. The bulb color from outside, actually, it is colored by green, blue, or whatever it is, red, like this. So here I have described the structure and mechanism of incandescent bulb. So first paragraph I have described the structure, and the second paragraph I have explained the mechanism. So light bulbs have a very simple structure. At the base they have two metal contacts which connect to the ends of an electrical circuit. See the diagram, screw thread contact and electrical foot contact. Two contacts are there and in between them insulator is placed. The metal contacts are attached to two stiff wires which are attached to a thin metal filament. The filament sits in the middle of the bulb held up by a glass mount. The wires and the filament are housed in a glass bulb, which is filled with an inert gas such as argon. Now see, tungsten filament is there. Support wires are also there for filament, for supporting filament. Glass bulb, the external structure of the bulb, incandescent bulb, and glass mount in between these. So this is the simple and very short structure of light bulb. This mechanism and structure is not in your book. In fact, from the beginning of this online session, I am giving you many things that is not in your book, but that might be included in your syllabus. So please be careful and read all. When the bulb is hooked up to a power supply, mechanism starts. When the bulb is hooked up to a power supply, an electric current flows from one contact to the other through the wires and the filament. Electric current in a solid conductor is the mass movement of free electrons, that is electrons that are not tightly bound to an atom, from a negatively charged area to a positively charged area, and bulb glows. Now, another appliances, that is electric heater. An electric heater is an electrical device that converts an electric current into heat, because these are all the heating effect of the current. So the heating element inside every electric heater is an electrical resistor and works on the principle of Joule heating. An electric current passing through a resistor will convert that electrical energy into heat energy. Now, what are electric heater made of? It is made up of nichrome. Nichrome is an alloy. Most resistance wire heating elements use nichrome 80/20. That means 80% nickel and 20% chromium. Maybe you have learned this in your metallurgy section. So nichrome wire, ribbon or strip. Nichrome is an ideal material because it has relatively high resistance and forms an adherent layer of chromium oxide. Chromium oxide, that means Cr2O3, when it is heated for the first time. So why nichrome has been used over here, that also I have explained. Now see, I have given a picture of water heater. In maximum, the house of maximum student, I think so, this electric heater you have. So this is the total mechanism. See, nichrome wire is there, and as well as with wire they are connected to that heater. Now, in this, a thin and long wire of nichrome is kept coiled in the spiral grooves of a porcelain block. Now I am talking about an electric heater which is generally used, previously specially, generally used in your house instead of oven. You can see the diagram from your picture, B diagram. Here, a thin and long wire of nichrome only is kept coiled in the spiral grooves of a porcelain block. This block is kept in metallic case and there is arrangement for making electrical connection with two ends of the coil. This is already in your book, that's why I am just explaining. But water heater, I think so, every day you used to see in your house. That's why I am explaining that thing with diagram in my slide. Both the heaters are working, but mechanism is only nichrome wire is used. Now we are starting electric power. The rate at which the work is being done in an electrical circuit is called an electric power. In other words, the electric power is defined as the rate of the transfer of energy. The electric power is produced by the generator and can also be supplied by the electrical batteries. It gives a low entropy from the energy which is carried over long distance, and also it is converted into various other forms of energy like motion, heat energy, etc. The electric power is divided into two types, that is the AC power and the DC power. Classification of the electric power depends on the nature of the current. So electric power is sold regarding joule, which is the product of power in kilowatts, and the running time of the machinery in hours. The utility of power is measured by the electric meter, which records the total energy consumed by the power devices. Hope so you know the situation when electricity from CSC actually, as some humans are coming and they are checking the meter. The electric power is given by the equation shown at the right hand side. You see, electric power is equal to work done in an electrical current divided by time. That means P is equal to work done in electrical current, that is W. So here W is equal to V into I into T. Remember this, V for volt, I for ampere, that means current flows in ampere, and T for time. Divided by also T, T will be reduced, and it will come P is equal to V into I. Now, R from Ohm's law, so that instead of V, we can write I into R. But in the picture, it has been written after that I R square. No, this is wrong. That will be actually I square R. I'm telling that this equation will be P is equal to VIT by T is equal to V into I is equal to I square R. So that you can say that is equal to V square by R. That means P is equal to V square by R. You can write P is equal to V square by R. Okay? But in your book, there is a little mistake. You see, from your book I am explaining now. Electric power is the amount of electric energy consumed in a circuit per unit time. So here let W be the electrical energy consumed in a circuit in T seconds. Then the electric power P is given by P is equal to W by T, that is matching with this diagram. Again electric energy W is equal to V into I into T. So therefore P is equal to V into I into T by T. T will be reduced and it is coming P is equal to V into I. So electric power may be defined as the product of potential difference applied to the circuit and the current flowing through it. Again from Ohm's law we know that V is equal to I into R. So instead of V we can write I into R, that means P is equal to I square R. That is a little bit wrong in your diagram. I R square not I square R, already I have told. But next step in your book and P is equal to, it has been written that V square by R. P is equal to V square by R. Okay. Now my question is, from where this V square is coming? You will find it out and please tell me at my mail whether you have understood this equation or not. Otherwise, again I will make you understand by sending a video. Now, electrical power formula, where V is the voltage in volts, I is the current in ampere, R is the resistance offered by the power devices, T is the time in seconds, and the P is the power measured in watts. Then only this formula is applicable. Now, the unit of electrical power is actually watt. If electric power formula, thus the power consumed in an electrical circuit is said to 1 watt if 1 ampere current flows through the circuit when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across it. The bigger unit of electrical power is the kilowatt. It is usually used in the power systematic. It is usually used the power system electric power. Actually, why this bigger unit is necessary? See the diagram below. All over the city, they have to supply electric. So, a bigger unit is necessary and that is kilowatt, kW. Now see, V is equal to 1 volt and I is equal to 1 ampere and P is equal to 1 watt. So 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt. Now SI unit of power is watt. It is also the practical unit of power. So we know that P is equal to V into I. Therefore 1 watt is equal to 1 volt into 1 ampere. That means 1 VA. So electric power is 1 watt if 1 ampere current flows through a circuit having 1 volt of potential difference. Bigger unit of power is kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is equal to 10 cube watt. Like 1 kilometer is equal to 10 cube meter. Same relationship, 1 kilowatt is equal to 10 cube watt. Another unit of power is horsepower. 1 HP is equal to 746 watt. So this is the interrelation between horsepower and watt. Now, commercial unit of electrical energy. The commercial unit of electrical energy is a kilowatt hour, kWh. The BOT unit is also known as kWh. So BOT unit is a short abbreviated form of Board of Trade Unit. This term was used in the UK and is no longer followed. It was used to refer to the amount of energy generated when 1 kilowatt of power was used in an hour. Now see, I have given a chart, commercial unit of electric energy. 1 watt hour is equal to 1 watt hour is the energy consumed by an electric appliances having power 1 watt in 1 hour. So 1 watt hour is equal to 1 watt is equal to 1 hour into 1 hour. Now 1 watt hour is equal to, I am just putting the another unit, 1 joule per second. What means joule per second? Into, I am converting hour into second. That means 3600 second. So it is coming 1 watt hour is equal to 3600 joule. This is the first derivation. Now the next one, 1 kilowatt hour is energy consumed by an electric appliances to power 1 kilowatt in 1 hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour. That means 1000 watt into 1 hour. That means 1000 joule per second into 3600 second. Therefore 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3600,000. That means 5 zeros are there. You can say 36 into 10 to the power 5 joule. So the electric supply sells electrical energy to the customers in a unit called kilowatt hour, and it is called 1 unit. That is 1 unit is equal to 1 kilowatt hour for electric supply corporation or CSC. 1 unit or 1 kilowatt hour is the amount of electric energy consumed by 1000 watt electric device when it operates for 1 hour. So kWh is also called Board of Trade Unit or BOT. So BOT is equal to watt into hour by 1000. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1000 watt hour, or else you can say 1000 joule per second into 60 into 60 second. That means it is coming 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule, or else you can say 36 into 10 to the power 5 joule. That I have done, this is also correct. And I think so, this derivation that I have done is more easier than book. Now, power rating of electric bulb. Think of a light bulb rated at 100 watts. Rated means generally it has been written on the bulb. Something volt, suppose 220 volt, 100 watt, like this. So this is the power rating for the bulb. It tells us how much electricity the bulb can transform into light and heat over a given amount of time. If left on for 1 hour, a 25 watt bulb will use 25 watt hours of energy. Now see the first diagram. To find the ideal current through the bulb. Acha, I am discussing you later. First you see the next diagram. Power in watt and energy converting watt hour. Okay. Energy means when bulb is glowing, and power, what has been naturally written, what is the actual power of the bulb. Now see, clearly it has been shown power of the bulbs 25 watt or 100 watt. So energy consumed 75 watt hour or 300 watt hour. Why? Because on for 3 hours, one clock is there. So for 1 hour energy consumed 25 into 1. For 2 hours 25 into 2. For 3 hours 25 into 3. Like this energy consumed. So same here in the next one also. 100 watt bulb is working for 3 hours. That means 100 into 3. 300 watt hour. Why I am explaining this? Because in my next slide, you have to see how CSC make their bill using their kilowatt hour and BOT unit. So better like this I am making you understand. Now the next one. In your book it has been given that power rating of 220 volt 100 watt electric bulb. How to say or how to write or how to give the answer of this question. Power rating of 220 volt 100 watt electric bulb means that the resistance of its filament while glowing is R is equal to V square by P, that you know. P is equal to V square by R, that means R is equal to V square by P. Using this formula, you have to find out the resistance first. So 220 whole square by 100, it is coming after calculation 444. As because this is resistance you are finding out, so unit of this resistance will be ohm. Now the total resistance of the filament of the bulb when not glowing is much less than these values, as the resistance of filament increases when its temperature increases while glowing. The safe limit of current through the filament of the bulb when glowing, I is equal to P by V. That also you have just now read that P is equal to V into I. So from this formula you have to find out the I over here, that is 100, power is 100 and V is equal to volt 220. So after dividing it will come 0.454 something ampere. It's near about 0.5 ampere. That means if question will come like this, that uh, power ratings of electric bulb 220 volt and 100 watt justify, that means you have to find out resistance and I using these two formulae. If you will find out only resistance, you will get the half of the marks. Please take care of this sentence. Next, to find the ideal current through the bulb. Now see the first diagram. P is equal to I into V. So I is equal to P by V. Hope so now you are understanding what I am going to tell. Here actually question was that we are describing the power of 240 volt and 60 watt bulb. So I obviously 60 by 240, that is coming 0.25 ampere. This is another example. And R also you have to find out. To find the resistance of the bulb, P is equal to V square by R. That means R is equal to V square by P. That means 240 square by 60. After calculating it will come 960 ohm. Or R is equal to V by I, that is 960 ohm. Two process they have shown, you can use any process. So resistance of the bulb can be assumed to be constant unless non-ohmic properties are to be considered. If this sentence you are not understanding, so leave it, no need to write this. But hope so, two examples, one from book, one from outside I have given. Hope so you have understood how to find out the resistance and current flowing through it from the power of the bulb. So from the power rating of the bulb, you have understood how to find out R and I. That means that particular bulb can withstand a current of about that particular I value that is coming. When the current exceeds this limit, it may cause the bulb to fuse. If the voltage applied be higher than the rated value, then excessive current would flow through it and raise the temperature of the filament so high that it may melt and the bulb will fuse. Now, it may be pointed here that in incandescent bulbs waste a large amount of input electrical energy as heat and so not efficient from economy of energy point of view. In this regard, CFL and LED lamps are more efficient. Now, what is CFL bulb? A compact fluorescent lamp, CFL full form, also called compact fluorescent light, energy saving light and compact fluorescent tube, is a fluorescent lamp designed to replace an incandescent light bulb. Some types fit into light fixtures designed for incandescent bulbs. See, one incandescent bulb picture I have given. It will glow when you will see the video. In a CFL, an electric current is driven through a tube containing argon and a small amount of mercury vapor. This generates invisible ultraviolet light that excites a fluorescent coating called phosphor on the inside of the tube, which then emits visible light. So this is the mechanism of CFL bulb. Second paragraph. See the mechanism diagram. Second one, argon is there that actually helps to produce this phosphor, and so the CFL bulb glows. Now, CFL is a fluorescent lamp designed to replace an incandescent lamp. These lamps use a tube which is carved or folded to fit into the space of an incandescent bulb. See the diagram, first diagram. Compared to incandescent lamps giving the same amount of visible light, CFL use 1/5 to 1/3 of electric power and lasts 8 to 15 times longer. So it's more economical than incandescent bulb. A CFL has a higher purchase price than an incandescent lamp, but can save over 5 times its purchase price in electricity costs over the lamp's lifetime. Hope so you have understood. If you have any type of query, send me mail. Now, LED bulb. LED stands for light emitting diode. Therefore, LED lights are made up of small diodes. Each diode is created from semiconductor material. This difference in electron levels allows electrons to move from one layer to the next, creating light through electronic excitation mentioned above. It's called solid-state lighting because, unlike incandescent and fluorescent lighting technologies, there are no gases involved in LEDs. This is the advantage of LED bulb. Instead, energy is passed through a semiconductor, usually a solid chemical element or compound that can conduct electricity, lighting up the LED light bulb. See the diagram, you will understand this is called LED bulb. Now, an assortment of LED lamps are shown in the diagram. An LED lamp is light emitting diode product which is used to replace incandescent lamps. It is several times better than incandescent lamps and significantly better than most CFL lamps. LEDs come to full brightness like incandescent lamps without any warm-up time, which is required for CFLs. A comparison shows that a 60-watt incandescent lamp can be replaced by a 14-watt only CFL lamp, while it is equivalent only to 9 to 10-watt LED lamp. So you have understood that LED bulb is most efficient next to CFL, next to incandescent. Now the differences between CFL and LED bulb. CFL save up to 75% a year in energy cost, but LED save up to 8% a year in energy cost. Last up to 9 years CFL, and for LED last up to 20 plus years. CFL contains a small amount of mercury. LED do not contain any type of mercury. CFL available in medium bases to fit standard light sockets such as table lamps. LED available in medium bases to fit standard light sockets such as table lamps. CFL is less expensive. LED is slightly more expensive. Now see the diagram here by pie chart. I have tried my best to show the three kinds of bulbs capacity. For incandescent bulb, blue color is so small. For fluorescent bulb, that means CFL, blue color is more than that. And for LEDs, blue color is maximum. What is this blue color? That is the index I have given. Blue color is light and that yellow color is heat. So if light will produce more than heat, that bulb will be more economical to us. So thank you students. For any queries or doubts, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. Please send your doubts. I'm giving you less homework because first I want to complete the syllabus properly. Then I'll send you worksheet and I'll send you questions as well as with answer keys also. So please send your doubts. I'm not getting any doubts. I'm not getting anything from any class 10 students. Very few students are responding. So please increase your responses so that a good communication will be made through mail.